So picture this. Your birthday's tomorrow, and you haven't told a soul. In fact, you probably deleted it from your social media years ago, right? And when the day actually rolls around, you just go about your business. Treat it like any other Tuesday. We're going to get into this, because this behavior, it's not just about being humble. It's way, way deeper than that. Does this feel familiar? You know, when someone actually remembers and they ask, hey, what are you doing for your birthday? You just kind of shrug. You say something like, oh, I don't really care about my birthday. Not doing anything special. And to other people, it might look like you're just mature or you're not bothered by getting older. But what if that's not it at all? What if treating your birthday like it's no big deal has almost nothing to do with humility? What if it's actually a deeply wired and honestly a heartbreaking defense mechanism? A way to protect yourself from something you're terrified of. Okay, so to really understand why you might push your birthday away, we have to look at what that day represents. For a lot of us, it's a day that is just loaded with expectations, and if we're being honest, that can be absolutely terrifying. Because every birthday is a huge emotional gamble, isn't it? I mean, on one hand, there's this little flicker of hope. The hope that you'll feel celebrated, that your phone will buzz with texts from friends, that maybe, just maybe, there'll be a surprise. But on the other hand, there's the fear. The fear that no one remembers. The fear of those polite but totally obligatory smiles. And worst of all, the fear of just deafening silence. So underneath it all, your brain is doing this incredibly clever protective calculation. Step 1, it sees the risk. Potential heartbreak is on the table. Step 2, it comes up with a strategy. Expect nothing. Absolutely nothing. Step 3, execute the plan. Just treat the day as completely normal. And the result? Well, in theory, disappointment is avoided. You see what's happening? You basically reject your own birthday before the world ever gets a chance to. But that's just one layer of the onion. This whole protective thing often comes from an even deeper place, something called spotlight trauma. And that's all about what happens when the simple act of being seen feels fundamentally unsafe. So what is it exactly? Well, it's basically a state of panic that gets set off whenever you're the center of attention. And this can be rooted in an upbringing where you were made to feel like your needs were a burden. Or maybe you were always the strong friend, you know, the one taking care of everybody else. So your system just literally doesn't know what to do when the attention is turned on you. One of the biggest symptoms is this really intense, almost suffocating guilt that you feel just for taking up space. So when people are looking at you or singing to you, giving you gifts, it doesn't feel good. It feels wrong, like you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. And this really gets to the core of it. Your nervous system isn't making a logical choice here. It can actually go into a panic mode and interpret all of that positive attention, a song, a gift, a compliment, as a legitimate threat. Being seen feels like being in danger. And underneath all of that panic is this quiet little voice, this core belief that says, I haven't earned this. It's the feeling that celebration has to be tied to some big achievement, not just for the simple fact that you exist. So how does this actually show up in real life? Well, it's deflecting every single compliment that comes your way. It's about physically and emotionally shrinking yourself in the moment to take up less space. It might even mean you literally turn your phone on Do Not Disturb and hide, because for you, being invisible feels so much safer than being seen. Which brings us to the hardest part of the day, because after all the deflecting and all the hiding, there's this emotional consequence that kind of waits until the sun goes down and you're all alone to finally show itself. Psychologists have a name for this, the birthday blues. It's this really profound sadness, a deep sense of grief that just washes over you. And here's the wild paradox. It hits you even though you planned nothing, and you told everyone and yourself that you didn't care. All day long, that was the message you were broadcasting to the world, and more importantly, to yourself. It's just another day. It doesn't matter. I don't care. You repeated it like a mantra. But here's the heartbreaking truth. Despite all of that armor, the little kid inside of you really, really did want to be celebrated. Deep down, a part of you wanted a surprise. You wanted someone to look at you and be genuinely, truly glad that you were born. So let's just be crystal clear about this. That grief you feel at the end of the day, it's not about the lack of a cake or a party. It's about the day acting as this giant, painful spotlight on a much deeper feeling of loneliness. You don't hate your birthday. You just hate what it reminds you of. So, if you're listening to this and your chest feels a little tight right now because we've just basically described your inner world, this last part, this is for you. This is a direct message. And it's about giving yourself permission. I really, really need you to hear this. Let it sink in for a second. Your existence is not a burden. It has never been a burden. And it is completely okay to mourn all the birthday celebrations you wished for but never got. And here's the other thing. You do not have to climb a mountain or win an award to earn your right to be celebrated. Your worth isn't based on what you do. It's inherent. It's just there. You know, the simple fact that you have made it through another year, that you have survived in a world that can be so incredibly hard, that right there, that is a victory. And that, all by itself, is worthy of being acknowledged. So, even if you spent the day completely alone, even if not a single other person said it to you, I'm going to say it. Just from one person to another, I am so glad you are still here. Happy birthday!